Tax-free retirement. Is there such a thing? Let's find out. The topic for today's webinar is, what are your choices for retirement savings? Hi, my name is Amanda Mansour, Safe Retirement Specialist. A little bit about me. I have been in the financial services industry for over 10 years. Although I have my Series 6 and 63, which allows me to be a registered advisor, I focused my business on safe retirement planning and helping people never outlive their retirement income with products that give you guarantees. To learn more about my business, you can go to www.co/Amanda. Oh, by the way, SIMTA stands for Simplifying Your Needs Through Insurance Solutions, in case you're wondering. Okay, employer-sponsored plans. We have a 401k, 403b, 457. Those are all called qualified plans. What's good about those plans? They have a company match that is free money. Take it. Up to the match is what I would contribute. Contributions are tax deferred. So you save a little bit of tax on the amount that you're putting in. But when you take it out, and it grows tax deferred, and when you take it out, you have to pay taxes. You can contribute up to $23,500 in 2025. Those are the limits. The cons about this is that this money is handcuffed. You can't touch it until age 59 and a half. There are a few exceptions. You can borrow from it, but you have to pay it back. It is in the stock market, so you always have that market risk. So if the market goes down, you go down with it. If the market goes up, you go up with it. It's a cycle. Limited investment options, not the best choices in the 401k usually. And there are lots of fees. Some are disclosed and some are hidden. Early withdrawal penalties. If you take it out before age 59 and a half, they tag on a 10% penalty for now. Okay, the next option is an IRA, individual retirement account. The pros about that is that flexible investment choices, tax deductions, and anyone with earned wages can start an IRA pretty much. The cons of this is that you have lower contributions and limits compared to a 401k plan. So early withdrawal penalties, you take on the market risk as the 401k. So if the market crashes, you crash with it. If it goes up, you go up with it. The max contributions is $7,000 per year if under 50 years old. If over 50 years old, it jumps to $8,000, and that's in 2025. All right. So the Roth IRA, good thing about the Roth IRA is it's tax-free withdrawals in retirement. When you get to retirement, you don't have to pay taxes because you put it in. You pay tax in the accumulation phase. You can withdraw up to the basis without any penalties. If you take out more than annual contribution limits for Roth IRA is in 2025 is $7,000 for people under 65 and $8,000 for individuals over age 50. Restrictions for Roth IRAs. If you're a single filer with a modified adjusted gross income, they call it MAGI. That's the acronyms for it. If you're making $144,000, if you're making above that, you cannot do a Roth IRA. And if you're making $214,000 a year as a married couple, you are not eligible to contribute to a Roth IRA. You are still taking on market risk in an IRA. That's part of the downside of the IRA. No, the other option is a pension. The pros about the pension is it's completely contributed by your employer. It provides security and comfort, which is what retirement is supposed to be like anyways. The cons is that it's almost extinct. If you leave early, you will not get the full pension payout. Usually, government employees have a pension because they're government employees, and some private companies. So now, are taxes going up or down or staying the same? Before you answer, check out our national debt clock. Okay, I just took this picture earlier today, and it was 36 trillion and almost 37. So the way that the qualified plans work, which I should have mentioned, is that when you take out the money, you pay the taxes. And usually when you're in retirement, you have a lot of taxes, a lot of write-offs. So you end up paying more taxes. To put our debt in perspective, we pay, so the interest that we pay on our national debt is more than our military budget. That's kind of scary. They have to pay for it one way or another. It has to be paid. And if they just keep printing money, then we're going to have a lot of inflation. If taxes are going up, why are you deferring paying your taxes? If the stock market is about to crash, probably worse than '08, why are you still in the market? Food for thought. Warren Buffett, CEO of Berkshire Hathaway investment firm, and is one of the best known investors throughout the world, has 325 billion in cash, more cash than he had before the '08 crash. That is 50% of his portfolio. Actually, when I looked it up, it said 50.4%, but I just rounded it down. Before the '08 crash, he had 52 billion in cash. Could he be preparing for a stock market crash? I don't know. Well, we're in a zigzag market. It goes up, it goes down, and so on. So people think if it goes down 5%, it goes up 5%, you're awash. Well, that's not how it works. If it goes down 10%, you need 11.1% to kind of get back to what you were before the loss. 20%, you need 25% up in order to get back to normal. -30, you need 42.8%, and so on. 40%, you need 66.7, and 50%, you need 100% gain in order to get back to normal. But of course, it's not going to happen all at once, like the 100% in all the recovery. So this other side shows you that if it's down 10% and the market is up like 3%, you need 3.6 years in order to get back to normal. If it's 5%, then you need 2.2 years to get back to normal. If it's 7%, you need 1.6 years to get back to normal. And if you have 9%, then you need 1.2 years to get back to normal. Now, this is for the 10% only. If you can do the math with the 20%, it's a chart. You can just follow it. If you want, you feel free to take a picture of it. I'll probably post it on my Facebook, and I think I posted it on my LinkedIn, just so you can reference it later on. Okay. Does this mean you stop participating in your company's retirement plan? No, absolutely not. If your company matches, contribute up to the match only. Take the free money, but if you're a business owner, we can show you other options, better options for both you and your employees. So to continue, okay, there is a better option, which is called tax-free retirement. This is done through life insurance. First, let me give you an overview of the different types of life insurance. The first type is term life insurance. I call it death insurance. The pros is it's inexpensive. Good when you have kids and you are the major source of income. It's like renting an apartment. As long as you pay your rent, you have a place to live. Same with term insurance, sorry. It's right. The cons is most people outlive it and there's no equity in it. But if you need term insurance because you have young kids and you need to protect your family, get term with living benefits. In the event of a terminal illness or an accident, you can access some of the death benefit while you are still alive. Your work life insurance policy is good if you die while you are still working. If no longer with the company, your work life insurance is not in effect. This is why they call it supplemental insurance. So when you leave the company, you're older and you may not be insurable at that point, and you may not be insurable. Get cancer, heavens forbid, or heart attack, whatever life throws at you. So this is why it's good to have a policy that's never going to outlive you. You're always going to use it no matter what. So Index Universal Life, IUL for short. The benefits of an IUL, it has a cash account. Money is allocated to one or several stock markets like the S&P 500. The money does not lose because it is being indexed to the market with a capitalization rate or a participation rate. If the market crashes, you never lose what's in the account. If the market crashes, you stay the same. If the market goes up, you go up with it. The money in an IUL grows tax-free per the IRS Code 77E. TEFRA, Tax Equity Fiscal Responsibility Act. The IRS Code 101A states that money in a life insurance policy transfers tax-free to your heirs. According to the IRS Code of 7702, the money in the Index Universal Life can be accessed tax-free through policy loans that do not have to be paid back till you die. It will be subtracted from the death benefit. Indexing is done in two ways. So it's either a capitalization rate or a participation rate. The capitalization rate says when your money is tied to the stock market, usually this is year to year, most common, but there are other options. If the market increases, your account will be credited the increase up to the capitalization rate. So let's just say hypothetically, your capitalization rate is 10%. The market does 9, you get the 9. The market does 10, you get the 10. The market does 11, you get the 10. The market does 15, you get the 10. You with me so far? Okay. If the market crashes in any capacity, your account will not decrease. So whether it's -5, -100, negative anywhere in between, you don't lose a thing. Now, the participation rate is a little bit different. Okay, let's just say your participation rate is 200%. It could be 200%, it could be 40%, it could be 50%, depending on the company, depending on the product, depending on the market, all of that. Okay. So, but in this hypothetical example, let's just say 200%. So if the stock market does point to point 5% increase and you have a 200% participation rate, then you will multiply the 5% by the 200% and you'll get 10%. So that's how much will be accredited. It will be credited to your policy, to your cash accumulation account. Okay, there is one index universal life that is available to 6% of the brokers. This IUL is offering an uncapped index, which allows you to get the full upside of the market without the downside. How amazing is that? I say this is a dream come true. Let me remind you of the benefits of an index universal life policy. Borrow against the policy for whatever reason. If you intend on using this for a tax-free retirement, you should pay it back. Let's just say your daughter graduates from college and you want to buy her a car. You can take out a loan and then hopefully pay it back. This way, it won't affect your retirement, right? Let's say she wants to get married and you want to, so you're getting the picture, you could use it for that. But again, it is a retirement account, so you do want to put it back. Okay, so you can be able to take residual income when you get to retirement. Yeah. Plus, in this policy, you can add living benefits. Some policies, living benefits are built in. Now, this is not a new concept. We all know Walt Disney. He found another option to fund his dream. He pulled $50,000 of accumulated cash value out of his life insurance policy. In today's value, this would be over $500,000, and combined it with the sale of his second home in order to build Disneyland. Great investment. In 1929, J.C. Penney, James Cash Penney, used the cash value in his life insurance policy to meet the payroll and day-to-day expenses of his department store. J.C. Penney, this allowed the company to ultimately rebound from the Great Depression. How amazing is that? All right. So another famous name that you guys might know is Kroc. Did not take a salary during his first 8 years, and to overcome the constant cash flow problems, Kroc borrowed money from two of his cash value life insurance policies to help cover the salary of key employees. He also used some of the money to create an advertising campaign around emerging mascot Ronald McDonald. Let's say you already have a 401k. You're still working. What can you do to protect your retirement from the next market crash? No one can stop you from moving your money if you are 59 and a half. If you change jobs or leave the company for any reason, if you are still working and under 59 and a half, you need to call HR and ask if they allow an in-service transfer for your 401k. After you determine that you want to move your money, then you can put it in an annuity that operates in the same fashion as an index universal life that will give you the upside of the market without the downside. The reason I say this is that when you move it like that, if you move it into an annuity, then you do not have to pay the taxes at that point, right? But if you move it into a life insurance policy, then you need to pay the taxes first. So I guess the life insurance would be a good supplement to whatever you have. Or if you want to start something, this would be a great start, if that makes sense. So this is why I'm saying that there are annuities that did the same thing. So if you're changing jobs and you have a certain amount, you do need to move it. Yeah. Excuse me. You're usually given a choice of indexes to choose from and a choice of capitalization rate or participation rate in these annuities. It's kind of the same concept. Now, if you're within 10 years of retirement, then that's a different conversation and a different product. So I'm talking to people who are in their 30s, 40s, maybe 50s, maybe early 50s, who have like more than 10 years before they actually retire. Okay. So why work with me? What makes me different is I have 10 years of experience in the financial services industry. I'm a small operation. That's what really makes me different. Okay. When you call, I answer, or you get my voicemail, I will return your call within 24 to 48 hours. I do have a team. I don't work by myself. I do have a large team I work with, but they're remote. Everybody works remote. So I use them for illustrations. I use them for a case design, and learning about different products. That's what I use them for. But I'm the only person that actually meets with clients. So I have access to most life insurance companies. I use a tool that can give me the best choice for your needs. I'm a fiduciary. I explain your options so you can make the best decision for your needs. So thank you for joining me. Most of my appointments are over the phone or online. It is more efficient this way. When you make an appointment with me, it's with me only. If you get someone else, that means that person hacked my calendar or my email or both. Just FYI. Okay. Thank you for attending this webinar. I hope you got something out of it. Here's my calendar link, and this is my mobile number. This is my direct line. This is, you can click here to watch other webinars, either by me or other experts in the field. I look forward to helping you protect your family and implement a tax-free retirement. My name is Amanda Mansour, your safe retirement specialist. Here's my direct line, and here's all my information. One last thing before I let you go. There is one amazing video by 60 Minutes that I would really love you to watch. It's got a load of information, and I don't want people to forget, though, what could happen, quality of the funds in the 401k and things like that. So if you would watch it, and then we will end our webinar.
The effects of the current economic crisis have touched everyone. Even if you still have a good job and a paid-up mortgage, chances are your monthly 401k statement will remind you that you've lost a good chunk of your savings. Trillions of dollars have evaporated from those accounts that have become the prime source of retirement funds for a majority of American workers, affecting their psyche and their future. If you're still young enough, there's time to rebuild and recover. But if you're in your 50s or 60s or beyond, consequences can be dire, and it's drawing attention to the shortcomings of a retirement system that's jeopardized the financial security of tens of millions of people. It was a gray, chilly morning in Midtown Manhattan, and a line of unemployed, mostly white-collar workers stretched for blocks around the Radisson Hotel. More than 1,000 middle managers, stockbrokers, consultants, secretaries, and receptionists all come here hoping to find a job.
If you're just arriving, so this way.
Here. It was called a career fair, but there was no merriment here, only a wit desperation. Many of these people had been out of work for months and burned through their liquid assets, their future even bleaker than the present. Alan Weir, who turned 60 this month, showed us his latest 401k statement, which he hadn't had the courage to open up.
I'm afraid. You're going to open it now? You want me to? Let's do it.
There's good reason for his trepidation. Nearly half of his life savings have vanished in a matter of months.
You went down again.
How much you down overall?
Oh, about $140,000.
You think you'll ever get it back?
I would probably never see it come back. I was looking to retire probably when I hit 62. Can't do it now. I'll probably be working it for at least 7.
I'm a Microsoft Office. Until she lost her job, Kathleen Coleman had spent nearly 30 years working as an executive assistant on Wall Street. She doesn't have much to show for it.
Tell me about your 401k.
That's answer the question, right?
This is what it was in 2005, 2007. You're down below 2005.
Right. And another one went down almost $40,000. One was 88,000, and then it went down to like 50.
How old are you?
54, and I live alone. I don't have any children. I've been a career girl all my life, and it's a great career, and I don't deserve this. Sorry.
Sorry. Have you had any nibbles?
All the nibbles I've had, I get beat out by top models who can kite. And I have experience and dedication and loyalty, and I can make anyone shine. I can. If you're out there, I'll relocate anywhere
for you. What, psychologically, what does this piece of paper do to you?
Oh, it crushes any rest I may get when I'm 65. I'll have to work for the rest of my life.
Your W-2 isn't just a form. It's the key to understanding your taxes. This edition of
The saddest part of this story is that it's being repeated all over the country. In eastern Pennsylvania, 59-year-old Iris Hans lost her accounting job and half of her 401k investments. She's now back in the workforce as a part-time cashier in a grocery store.
Here's debit card. You have a great day.
In Dearborn, Michigan, Terry and Donna McNally are barely holding on. He lost his sales job in August. The condo they bought 15 years ago is worth less than their mortgage, and 40% of his 401k retirement savings is gone. Donna is the main provider now.
Let me hear you count to 10. Can we count to 10?
Running a daycare center out of their home.
Are you here for John?
Terry considers himself fortunate to have found part-time work greeting the bereaved at a funeral home and making lattes at Starbucks.
There you go.
Where colleagues young enough to be his grandchildren have taken him under their wing.
What's the hardest part? I'm no longer sitting at a computer or driving in a car to a call. Suddenly I'm standing for 4 to 6 hours and greeting people or making drinks or trying to learn the process and the food business thing, which is very difficult.
It's tough, but I'm proud of him. His age to be doing what he's doing.
The 401k drop was tremendous. Is tremendous at this point in time. And that's where the savings was. That's our hurt right now.
We can't live our vision of our dream of retirement. The worst part. Many people can't.
And what was your dream?
Our dream was to have a log cabin, North Leland area, and just live a nice, quiet life. And we can't do that.
You think you'll ever be able to retire?
I don't
No.
see that day. Can no longer see that day.
What kind of a retirement plan allows millions of people to lose 30 to 50% of their life savings just as they near retirement? David Ray, president of the profit-sharing 401k Council of America and a lobbyist for the 401k industry, says it's one that empowers people to make their own investment decisions.
401k is the absolute best way people can save for retirement. They absolutely are the best retirement vehicle we have.
How can you say it's the best available if it has let down tens of millions of people at the time they need the money the most?
That's not a 401k problem. That is our entire investment system. This is about the markets went down for everybody. Nobody was saved in the current thunderstorm.
Ray says that many people still have more money in their 401ks than they've actually contributed. He says everyone had multiple investment options, including low-yield guaranteed returns. And he believes people who lost money have no one to blame but themselves.
In America, it's a society based on freedom and choice and personal responsibility. We need to help them understand these responsibilities and execute them to the best they can. 401k is part of that. There are no guarantees.
What about the people who are 63 or 64? A lot of those people were thinking about retiring,
Well,
and now they are.
I mean,
A lot of them were retired and have to go back into the workforce.
but that was not a 401k problem. That's an investment system problem. The markets go up and down. And if those people chose to take equity risk, there was a logical outcome.
But in fact, the 401k plans that have become the primary source of retirement income for 60 million Americans were never designed to be retirement plans in the first place. They were created in the late 1970s as a savings plan and tax shelter for ordinary Americans. The idea was that workers would make voluntary contributions and employers would match a portion of them. Taxes would be deferred until the employee reached the age of 59 and a half. It was supposed to supplement the two traditional income streams for retirees, Social Security and pensions, one leg of a three-legged stool that would support American workers into their golden years. But it didn't turn out that way.
The three-legged stool, if you will, has gone to two legs and it's wobbly, and it's wobbling. And I'm not sure that it's going to support anything. And that's the scary part, and people are afraid.
Brooks Hamilton has helped design retirement plans for some of the country's largest corporations. He says 401ks turned out to be so much cheaper than funding pensions, that many companies decided to freeze their pension plans and replace them with 401ks. Created millions of new employee investors for Wall Street and the financial community, and they pounced on the opportunity.
If you go back and track the mutual fund growth in asset, and you track the growth in 401k plans, it looks like a railroad track leading to the sky. They are parallel tracks.
So the big beneficiaries were the mutual fund.
That's right. That's correct.
When employers began turning 401ks into retirement plans, the financial community was not shy about promoting them as such. The prospect of trillions of dollars in the hands of unsophisticated investors opened the door for all sorts of potential abuses.
The fact is that the typical 401k investor is a financial novice. They don't know a stock from a line. And we give them a list of 20 or 30 mutual funds with really, really powerful names. They found like, gee, that's where I want to have my money.
What are generally the quality of the mutual funds and 401k plans?
Mediocre. I'm be real honest with you. With half the funds on the list, really dogs, what people would characterize as dogs, shouldn't be on the list to start with.
There clearly has been a raid on these funds by the people of Wall Street, and it's cost the savers and the future retirees a lot of money that would otherwise be in their account, independent of the financial collapse.
Representative George Miller of California is chairman of the House Committee on Education and Labor and a staunch critic of the 401k industry, especially its practice of deducting more than a dozen undisclosed fees from its clients' 401k accounts.
Now you got a bunch of economic wizards jumping in and taking money out of your retirement plan, and they don't want to tell you how much.
You can't decipher it in simple English, and they're not interested in disclosing it or having any transparency about it.
And most of the people that look at their 401ks have no idea that these fees are being taken out.
No. Where would you find it? Where would you find these fees and this prospectus? You can look on any page you want, and when you're all done reading, and you will find some of the fees and the commissions here, but you won't find them all. And I bet you won't find half of them.
There are legal fees, trustee fees, transactional fees, stewardship fees, bookkeeping fees, finder's fees, and the list goes on and on. Biller's committee has heard testimony that they can eat up half the income in some 401k plans over a 30-year span, but he has not been able to stop it.
We tried to just put in some disclosure and transparency in these fees, and we felt the full fury of that financial lobbying.
David Ray, a lobbyist for the 401k industry, says he favors disclosing the fees, but his partners in the financial industry don't. You think most people know these fees exist?
I think they know that there are fees. They don't know exactly how large they are.
Why do you think the financial services industry is opposed to fee transparency?
I don't know that they're opposed to it. I think the issue is,
You don't think they're opposed to it?
well, they want to keep
You're
it.
a lobbyist in Washington, right? You know they're opposed to it. George Miller hasn't been able to get a bill to the floor.
I think they want to keep the systems as simple and not make changes. They like the way things are. And whenever you push people out of their comfort zones, it's an issue.
I mean, they're comfortable with the situation because they're making a ton of money, or they have made a ton of money.
Well, and their systems are set up in certain ways. This is going to be a big change.
We wanted to ask David Ray, who's been so bullish on 401k plans, one last question about what the future holds for people like Terry and Donna McNally and Kathleen Coleman, who you met at the beginning of this story.
Dedicated, loyal. I could be there. There's nothing standing in my way. Thank you. Be a babysitter.
Most of the people that we've talked to are 50 and 60 years old,
Right.
and have sustained these losses, say there is no way they're ever going to make them back. Do you agree with that?
I think we have to be truth tellers. I think that when a person has hit this point and we've had this unfortunate situation, I don't think we can misrepresent what the possibilities are.
And the reality is that money is not coming back that they've lost.
They can't count on it. They have to. Maybe they have long. Maybe if they work 10 more years, it'll come back by the. But it's important that they not have unrealistic expectations.
Thank you for attending this webinar. Again, here's my information, and I look forward to helping you protect your family and implement your tax-free retirement. Bye-bye.